One powerful step is to make sure your manager, your leader, knows what your hit it to me skills are. And you can do this without sounding arrogant. Well, hello, Lab Cats. I am so excited to have you here with me again today. Thank you for tuning in and for saying yes to investing your time this way in you, your most powerful and precious asset. That matters. Today, friends, we are talking about one of my favorite subjects. It is something I've included in many of my keynote talks. It's included in the opening module of the advanced level of the Leadership Laboratory. It's something I personally revisit periodically to make sure I'm taking full advantage of it. Today's topic is absolutely foundational, not just to your growth, but to your happiness and to your indispensability at work. It is something that is already within you. It is something you already have. It's familiar. It's part of you. It could even be something you might have dismissed or disregarded as not that important. But today, we are going to bring it to the surface to remind you of how powerful you are and how this thing we're going to talk about can be used not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of others. What I'm talking about are your strengths, your gifts, and your superpowers, the things that come naturally to you, that your life experiences have shaped, have refined, have strengthened over time. And ladies, we in particular are a little notorious for sometimes dismissing or minimizing or even just not realizing the things we're really good at doing and saying, oh, everybody knows how to do that. Heck no. I am here today as the coach in your ear to challenge that assumption and to cheer you on as you claim what is already yours, not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of the people around you as well. Other people might know how to work a pivot table, for example, or manage conflict, or organize chaos, create the calm in the storm, but they don't know how to do it the way you know how to do it. And when you surface your strength, that gift, that superpower, it's the same thing as flexing a muscle, right? It just gets bigger and brighter and stronger. You can think about it exactly like that, like a muscle. We all have biceps, right? Everybody has biceps. And no matter what you do, your bicep won't disappear. Right? There's nothing you can do to make your bicep disappear. Yet, it will get stronger when you use it and weaker when you don't. The exact same thing is true for your strengths. And as you listen today, imagine that every time you acknowledge one of your strengths, it's the same thing as giving that powerful muscle a flex. So let's get centered, grounded, and present. Take a nice deep breath with me. Feel it in your abdomen, tap in to your parasympathetic nervous system, and I will open us up with a story. And then I'm going to invite you into some prompts to follow up with this story and help you remember what you are really darn good at doing. We're going to celebrate your strengths, and then we're going to talk about how you can use them more intentionally in meetings and with leaders across your organization. And by the end, my hope is that you feel lit up, like you can walk into that next meeting, that next conversation, thinking, yes, I've got this. Hit it to me. All right. So once upon a time, this story is about a baseball player. And if anyone listening happens to know this baseball player, by all means, I would love an introduction so that I can recreate this podcast episode while interviewing him right here. So far, he has not responded to my DMs, although I certainly have tried. This story is about Derek Jeter. Jeter is the former shortstop for the New York Yankees. And at the height of his career, he was being interviewed on ESPN. The journalist was painting a very dramatic scene. He said, "Okay, Jeter, it's the bottom of the ninth. The go-ahead run is at third base. You're standing there at shortstop. Yankee Stadium is going off. The batter steps up to the plate. The pitcher is about to deliver the ball. What is going through your head?" It was zero hesitation. Jeter responded. He said, "Hit it to me." He said it so fast and so suddenly. The journalist actually leaned in and said, can you clarify? What did you say? Now, I remember watching this interview. I was sitting on my couch in Fort Collins, Colorado. I was in a corporate housing apartment at the time, and this is before everything was on the internet and everything was streamed, or I would have that link to the interview here for you. Trust me, I've looked for it. But I leaned into as I was sitting on my couch thinking, yeah, what did he say? And the second time Jeter responded, he sat straight up and he opened up his arms and his palms at this bring it on kind of motion, and he repeated, hit it to me. He shared that, yeah, in that high stakes, that high pressure situation, I know how to catch that ball. I know how to field that ball. I know how to get the out. Hit it to me. And he said it not in a way that was cocky or arrogant or communicating a feeling of superiority, but rather with this grounded, unequivocal confidence. Just this quiet inner knowing, yes, I've got this. I know it, and my team knows it too. And I remember sitting there being absolutely blown away by this. I had a view of the mountains out my window, and I sat there thinking, well, if Jeter's got that feeling, well, he's standing between second and third base, the Yankee infield. When do I have that same feeling? Wait, what is my version of, yeah, I've got this, hit it to me? When do I unequivocally have the answer to that question? Yes, I've got this. Well, for me, like I said, it's not while I was standing, between second and third base and on the infield of Yankee Field, but I realized that I had that same energy when I was giving presentations. I delivered a lot of presentations to audiences of all sizes in my automotive refinish career. I had that same energy when I was building stories through slide decks, or when I was engaging with an audience, speaking with them, not at them. Those were the things that I really loved and I was really good at doing. And even just thinking about them in that moment, it made me feel happier and more energized. And as you're listening right now, maybe notice if your body is already starting to give you some clues. A little spark of recognition or a moment where you think, oh yeah, like I'm good at doing that thing. And that does feel really good. Well, that spark, my friends, that is your power coming online. So this is the question that I'll now hit to you. When do you get that same feeling? When do you have that, I've got this, bring it on, hit it to me, that type of energy in your workplace or even in your personal life? This could be when you are navigating complex calculations, for example. I was always blown away by some of the women I worked with in the oil and gas industry who could do algorithms in their head. I can't do that, but they could, or even in their sleep. For you, be building dashboards. It could be leading change. It could be supporting others. It could be finding calm in the chaos. And this also applies at home. I mean, maybe you're the master organizer of your family events. Maybe you bake the best gluten-free banana bread on your respective side of the Mississippi. That counts too. Many strengths and skills, they're not split between work and home. They all live in the same brilliant part of your brain and in your heart. So let me give you some prompts here. And as your hit it to me skills, as these superpowers and gifts come to mind, if you can, pause this podcast and write them down. Or if you're walking, maybe you dictate them into your phone. Just start a short list here. And remember, this is a celebration. This is not an exam. You can't get this wrong. And one quick warning here before I share the prompts. This is especially if I have any fellow perfectionists or type A personalities in the crowd. I see you, my people. I like to joke that my name's Jamie and I've been a member of the Perfectionist Recovery Club since 2013. It's a daily commitment. But if you identify with that, with varying levels of perfectionism or type A personalities, know that your inner critic, she might want to join this conversation. And if a skill pops into your mind, like you might say, you know what, I'm really good at change management or I'm great at solving puzzles. Your inner critic may jump in with something like, yeah, but good at puzzles, but remember that one time in 2021 where you really messed it up? Or, you're good at those complex calculations, but Dave, wow, Dave in the other department, well, he's the real expert. No, no, no. That voice is not invited to this conversation. She's going to sit this one out. So on this podcast, you are encouraged to take up space, take up the full value that is you. And in this moment, you are allowed to tell the truth about what you are great at doing. Remember, it ain't bragging when it's true. So when something comes to mind, it counts. So no crossing things out from this list. Like I've heard ladies have done before. I crossed it out. No. We're going to keep everything here because if your subconscious is bringing it forward, that's a message that is trying to send you. So capture it. and know that, I'm right here with pom-poms and fist bumps cheering you on with every strength that you write down. All right, so let's do this, my friends. Here are some prompts to help surface those hit it to me skills. You are the go-to person for this skill. You've already got somewhat of a reputation about it at work, as this is your thing. You stand out from your peers in this area. And again, other people might know how to do it, but not the way that you know how to do it. You genuinely enjoy doing this. This can't be one of those, I could do it, I'm really good at doing it, but I don't like doing it. Nope, you have to like doing it. You have to enjoy it. Evidence, as evidenced by you light up, you get excited when you're working on it. Perhaps this is a skill that people request your expertise. They pull you into a meeting for your perspective. They say, hey, we want Jenny to comment on this. We want Dawn's eyes on this. You receive compliments on it. I hope you accept those compliments. You choose to study or read about it on your own time, articles, videos, trainings. The thing that you would stay up late on a Tuesday night, reading on the island of your kitchen might be the cure for insomnia for somebody else, but for you, you're like, no, I would devour this. Good indication that that's a hit it to me skill. You have no trouble speaking up about it. And then the last prompt I'll share here is when you're doing it, you feel in the zone, or I've had people describe it as I was in flow, right? It's that thing that you're working on, and the dimension of time dissolves, right? And time goes by and you have no idea how much time went by, and it's not until an alert, an alarm, a little ping somewhere just jogs you back into the present moment. Hopefully, this has sparked a lot of ideas, or even just a few. It's fine, even just one or two to start with, about what are your hit it to me skills. And I'd love to invite you to just hit pause right now, jot down at least 3 of them. Let this be the moment when you start to acknowledge those skills. And then when you come back, we'll talk about how these strengths feel and how you can use them to fuel your day. So go ahead, pause, and even if you want to do this in your head, that'll help too. What are those hit it to me skills? So next I want to turn to, how do you feel? How's your energy when you are in your hit it to me zone? When you're deep into that pivot table, when you're solving a complex problem, when you're either the one who pays attention to those little details and you're zooming in, or maybe you're the one who zooms out for the big picture vision. How do you feel? What are the emotions or the energy that are coming up for you? And typically, when I answer this question, or excuse me, when I ask this question, the answers that I receive sound like this. I feel energized. I feel focused. I'm excited, right? I'm hopeful. I'm curious. I'm confident. And that is not an accident. Notice how all of those are positive. That is your gift speaking directly to you. I've never had somebody say, well, I beat myself up about it a lot, or I second guess, or I overthink it. Isn't that great? Just the purity of what happens with your energy when you're focused on your hit it to me skills. That's powerful because you can use this strategically. And that's also evidence that your brain is releasing dopamine. Dopamine is one of the feel-good chemicals that supports motivation. It supports focus. So your body is literally rewarding you for using those gifts and those superpowers that come naturally to you. Now, if you know you have a tough season coming up, this is where you can apply this proactively. Maybe you've got a challenging project. Maybe it's audit week. Maybe there's a big reorg, or maybe there's a lot of change going on. Those are the days to deliberately block time to work on that hit it to me skill. If it's 30 minutes, even if it's 15 minutes, spending time with your hit it to me skill, it's going to put you back in that space of being energized and feeling focused. It elicits the same positive emotions: energy, focus, confidence. And emotion begets more of that emotion. So one of the most effective ways to turn around a hard day is to spend time with your gifts. And you deserve to feel that grounded, confident energy, even on the hard days, especially on the hard days, right? Just like Jeter did when he said, hit it to me. You can also think of your hit it to me skill almost like the 3-year-old version of you, right? Picture 3-year-old you. And when you spend time with her, you pay attention to her, she lights up, right? She gets a big smile on her face. She feels seen. She feels valued. You have the opportunity to do that for yourself every single day. And if no one has told you yet today that you are worth that kind of care and attention, please allow me to be the first. So now back to the muscle metaphor. Go ahead, look at your bicep. flex it. And when you want that muscle to grow, what do? Right? You use it, you challenge it, you keep coming back to it consistently. And when you feel resistance, what do? You feel empowered to meet that resistance with even more strength. Well, your gifts and your superpowers, they work that same way. And what many of us can be notorious of doing is dismissing, downplaying, or comparing our strengths away. We think, well, I don't want anybody to think that I'm full of myself, or I don't want somebody else to feel bad that I'm good at this and they're not. So we hide what we're good at doing. But this isn't about superiority at all. When you use your strengths, other people benefit. Besides you, other people benefit. You make it easier for your team to win, just like Jeter did when he said, hit it to me, right? When he fielded the ball, he got the out. He didn't say, well, maybe I'll drop this so that others will feel better about themselves. Heck no. Had he done so, everybody would have missed out. And leaning into the baseball side of things too, think about it this way. Hopefully at work, you're on a team where everybody's playing the same game, but ideally everyone has distinct positions so that you can contribute in your own unique way and function at a higher level as a team. And when we look at the neuroscience of this, there's actually something called the confidence competence loop. And what the confidence competence loop suggests is that when you spend time using a strength, you build competence naturally, right? The more time you spend with it, the more competent you become at it. That competence then builds confidence. It increases your belief in yourself that you can do this. That confidence helps you take risks, to ask bolder questions, to raise your hand for new opportunities, and then that in turn, again, fuels the competence. So you create a virtuous cycle when you're doing yourself the favor of paying attention to your strengths, spending time with them. Your mental health loves this space. When you are in your hit it to me zone, you're more innovative, you're less risk averse, you're more curious, you're more forgiving of yourself. And if you don't know something, you're more willing to say, well, let me find out, rather than be embarrassed by saying, ooh, I don't know, wanting to avoid that awkward situation. You just simply say, well, I've got this. Send it to me. I'll go find out and get back to you. And that is a phenomenal, powerful state from which to lead your life in your career, to set a great example for yourself and for anybody else who's watching. So the confidence competence loop, let's get that sucker fired up so both can benefit. So here's your permission slip. You are allowed to spend more time in that zone. All the other little things that you take care of throughout the day, right? It's not, they can wait. Schedule, block 15 minutes for your hit it to me skill. And this isn't to fix a weakness. This is because you have earned it. I'll come back to that again when we talk about the experiment here at the end. All right. So I shared that we can also talk about how to apply this at work. So how do you do this? How do you create some visibility from this? Or how do you elevate others by using your hit it to me skill? Well, one powerful step is to make sure your manager, your leader, knows what your hit it to me skills are. And you can do this without sounding arrogant. So it might sound something like this. Hey, Jim, I've realized I get really energized by X. Just practice. Say it out loud with me right now. I get really energized by working on that Thursday report. I'd love to look for more opportunities to contribute in that space. Or how about this one? Sarah, the projects that I'm doing where I'm doing Y, that's where I'm doing my best work. Where do you see that skill being the most useful for the team? Or how about this one? Jessica, if something comes up that requires Z, please think of me. I really enjoy that kind of work. Most managers love hearing this because there's always more work than time, right? And this way, you're giving them a clear signal about where you can contribute at your highest level. You're subtly reinforcing your indispensability, right? When this kind of problem comes up, right here, I'm your girl. You can also use this language with peers and with cross-functional partners. I mean, this is a space where I do some of my best work. So if something comes up, feel free to loop me in. And again, you're not bragging. You're building bridges and you're making it easier for everyone to win. So as you do this, imagine the leadership laboratory community. We are standing right behind you. We are nodding. We are smiling. We are saying, yes, this is exactly what you're meant to be doing. Keep going. Keep flexing that muscle. Let's bring this to life, my friends. Let's bring this to life. The strength is found not in just the knowing, but in the doing. right? You may have heard the phrase that knowledge is redundant without application, right? And that's what the Leadership Laboratory is about. It's about the doing, it's about the experimenting. We can't just let this live in our head. When we bring it to life, that's when we fully get to flex it and when you feel your awesomeness surface even more. So here are the experiments that you can try. Here are the experiments you can try. First, keep adding to your Hit It To Me list. Hopefully you've got one started here. What a lot of my ladies like to do is put HITM, Hit It To Me, at the top of a Post-it note. Put it somewhere that you're going to see it frequently. And when something comes up, write it down. And hopefully happens for you the same as for most of them. As you go throughout the rest of your week, you'll be doing something and it will occur to you, oh, right here, right now, this is one of my Hit It To Me skills. Awesome. Capture it, right? Put it on that list so you can continue to prioritize it. Second experiment here, intentionally put that Hit It To Me skill to work at work. Do this at least once a week. Block time for your Hit It To Me skills. Especially if it's that difficult week or you're in a tough season, you will be glad you did it and your skills are going to be glad that you did it too. And then third experiment is please share with one person what you now identify as your Hit It To Me strength. Please reach out to one person and say, hey, I listened to this podcast. It got me thinking about my strengths. You know what I'm really good at doing? It's this. Practice hearing yourself own it. And then if you want bonus points on this, ask that person, well, what's yours? What's your Hit It To Me strength? And then notice what the energy is like in your conversation. Because I can almost promise you it is going to be off the charts. So those are your 3 experiments. Keep adding to your Hit It To Me list. Time block for it at work. And then 3, share your Hit It To Me skill with somebody and ask them what theirs is. So I'll close with this, my friends. The key here is to name it to claim it. Name it to claim it. When you name your strength, your gift, your superpower, when you name it to claim it, you own it and everyone wins in that scenario. And research shows, get this, research shows that 2/3 of people, this crushes me, they go through life never fully owning, let alone even acknowledging their Hit It To Me skills. Ugh, I feel that in my chest right now. I mean, that is like having a priceless work of art and keeping it covered up, like in an attic where it's collecting cobwebs and spiders. Don't be that person. Don't leave your gifts covered up, collecting the cobwebs and the spiders, right? Dust them off. Let yourself and let others benefit. You were not put here to play small. Own your truth. Own your strength about who you are, what you do best, and what you bring to the table. And if this episode helped you see even one of your strengths more clearly, please don't keep it to yourself. Share this episode with a colleague who is brilliant, but might always see herself that way. Sometimes our strengths are clearest in each other. So let's give each other a pat on the back, a little awareness as to what others' strengths might be. And if you want support in uncovering and leveraging your strengths at work, check out the show notes. There's a link to the Leadership Laboratory. It's jamiemckinney.com/lab, where we go much deeper into this topic and others in the lab and help you build a career, advance your career that fully reflects your gifts. Well, I would genuinely love to celebrate your Hit It To Me skills with you. So what are you claiming after listening to this episode? Send me a note or a DM. Put the words Hit It To Me in the subject line. You can send it to contact@jamiemckinney.com. Tell me what you're owning. You know, I read these messages and I'm already proud of you for considering what you're going to put in that message and definitely for saying it out loud. You have Hit It To Me strengths. They are already there. Your job now is to name them, to claim them, to own them, and to use them. Until next time, my friends, keep experimenting, keep growing, and focus on progress over perfection.